Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Wednesday evening and I'm very pleased to say that I just completed the process of putting the extra piece back on the turbine, and this is basically a video about that. So there's no testing or anything, it's just putting the extra bit of pipe back on the tower, getting it ready for the next couple of days proper testing. So let's remind ourselves how long this bit is. Approximately 1.4 meters. Enough to make a bit of a difference, especially when it's blowing from where the trees are. If we look behind the turbine in the other direction, when the wind's coming from that way, it's a lot more powerful because there's nothing around the turbine to block it. Whereas when it's facing this way or towards the camera, then there are trees, etc. in the way, thus the need really to get it higher. Anyway, yeah. I've got a bit of a weird thing going on at the top of the tower where I welded in a collar, and I'm worried about how I'm going to get the cable through with the extra bit, but I'm probably being overly dramatic. So really it's got to come down and I'll try putting it up higher. I was happy with the weight of it. I think it's weighs less than my smart drive wind turbine. It's still going to be at the limit of what I want to be doing if I can get it higher, and also if I do get it higher then I may well want to take it down if the wind's going to be over a certain amount, but we shall see, who knows. I've loosened off the side guide rope, so just a quick close-up of the tower adapter that I made. That's 10 inches of tubing which fits over the tower. The tubing's got 6 of these adjusters. Haven't got a grinder disc at the minute, which is why that hasn't been chopped off and welded. At the top, so the plate has 6 holes around to match up the turbine job, we can see there, and obviously it has a hole through the centre for the cable to come through, and so far so good. It seems to be working. That's the blade hub. See, it feels nice and easy to turn. Let me just put the camera down. Make sure my little chihuahua's not in the way. Milfrids wouldn't give a toss. The Milfrids would just laugh. So now, I've moved the bin to squash the tail to get the generator near enough perfectly straight. This shouldn't hit the camera, but you never know. See, that's a bit out, that one. Oh, or is it that one that's a bit out? Let's go through all 3. Yeah, this one's definitely further in. This is a close-up of the blade hub that came with it. Strangely enough, I thought it would have a reverse thread on the central shaft bolts, but it doesn't. They're the little clip things that you screw down to the blades. And that is the only way the blades will fit on. There is no other way. Wobble wobble! Whoa, bloody hell, that was close. Glad to see you in one piece, my friend. Glad to see you in one piece. That is an understatement. Back to the beast, and really if we're going to do this it needs to come off, and the pain in the arse is putting the wire back in through the middle, which I'll try and explain while I'm shown against the wheelie bin there. Like, pretty good size comparison, especially if you're in the UK. I think this is going to be the optimal way to do it. I've got the weight of the turbine on here, and when I undo everything, touch wood, I can just gently pull the turbine out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use a spare bit of wire rope to connect to that cable which comes from the turbine, and when it goes all the way up, hopefully this will be sticking out the end if we need to pull stuff back through. The first process involves heavily masking tape this to make it as thin as possible. You can see the cable's pretty long. And that's where I've attempted to join them together. So the next job is to undo these jobbies, and then the turbine shouldn't have any kind of shock, if you get me. Actually, that would be massively wasting my time when I'm better off just undoing this bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I just need to go have a cup of tea and think about what I'm going to do with this. I'm thinking the best thing to do is to actually cut the cable and then reconnect them, because there's enough on this cable to get it through. And you can see what I mean about the kind of obstruction there. But anyway, I may well do that. Cut the pipe, leave enough length for it to stick out of the new bit, and then try and join them together. In a bizzle. Now, what we have to assess is the position of this thing, because theoretically it could go up there, but then the guide ropes will get smashed by the blade. So I'm going to go, how much clearance do we have there? I'm going to go about there and give it plenty of clearance. Cool. I've got all the guide ropes from before, so I'm just going to put them on. They will need adjusting, no doubt. So that was a job well done, if I may say so. All 4 guide ropes are on. It's not ready to go up yet. I will sort out stuff like this and this, but yeah, it's all pretty good. It gives me stress thinking about the broken wire. So anyway, this is the bizzle that I've got to sort out, and I've just basically got to try connecting them properly, stuffing the wire slowly down, and it'll just be a case of manoeuvring the trusty wheelie bin and a gentle tug on that cable we've got at the bottom, and then I'll be very happy if I can actually do this job on my own, if that makes sense. Wheelie bin, it's an absolute beast. It's a homemade chisel. This kind of malarkey will be sorted out before the erection. In a bizzle. Right, night time is a-coming. That's the connectors which are getting stuffed down the tower, hopefully. And yeah, that's all I can do. Whew, that is a job well done. It was a bit of a mission on my own, but I got there in the end. Noticing this piece is slightly longer than the other one. First thing I have to do is tighten up the tension on this guide wire, which will take me all of 2 minutes, and then I'll just lift it up a tiny bit. Well, I had a bit of a moment there, guys. I lifted it up off the hoist and it lurched sideways, and I thought, oh crap, it's going to fall off, but it didn't, because the overall tension of the guide wires kept it. So, whew, that was close. Sorry, it's getting a bit dark now, but getting that tail on is a bastard of a job, pardon my French. Should be all good to go. So I'm going to put the blades on, and then I'm going to raise it first thing in the morning.